All right, guys, let's start with something simple. A number. I'm going to give you a number. Can you guess what it means? 27. Probably like, what do you mean 27? On its own, guys, it means absolutely nothing. It's not a milestone birthday. It's not a cultural rite of passage. It's not the age where most people face a major life transition. But in music, 27 has become a gravitational point. A number that keeps showing up in the wrong place at the wrong time, attached to the wrong names. Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, and Amy Winehouse. 6 artists from different eras, different genres, different backgrounds, all with different demons. All gone at the exact same age. And here is where it gets stranger, guys. None of them were in the same city. None of them were a part of the same environment. None of them shared the same lifestyle. None of them died in the same way. Yet somehow they all ended in the same club. A club nobody wants to join. And nobody can explain. And the more you look at the timeline, the more the pattern refuses to disappear. Between 1969 and 1971, 4 of those deaths happened back to back. 4 icons, 2 years, the same age. That's not a coincidence. That's a cluster. And clusters demand questions. Why 27? Why these artists? And why this pattern? And why does it keep happening in a way that feels less like randomness and more like a shadow baked into the architecture of fame? Some people say it's numerology. Some say it's astrology. Some say it's the industry. Some say it's a curse. And some say the 27 Club isn't a conspiracy at all. It's a mirror reflecting something we don't want to admit. So tonight, guys, we're going to break it open. Not just the list of names, but the psychology, the pressure, the myth making, and the cultural hunger that keeps this story alive. Because, guys, if you want to understand the 27 Club, you have to understand why the world keeps needing it. Welcome to Amypre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. This is the show that takes you on a journey through the world of music, the riffs, the legends, the hidden stories, and the lessons that fuel creativity. Here we break down the craft, the culture, and the chaos of sound, making it raw and unforgettable. Whether you're a musician, a fan, or just hungry for knowledge, Amypre is your backstage pass to the rebellion of audio. So plug in, turn up. This is Amypre Sessions. I am your host, Dustin. Guys, today on episode 22, we're bringing you another conspiracy or another musical theory, so to speak, okay? Today we're stepping into one of the most enduring, unsettling, and culturally magnetic conspiracies in music history. The belief that the 27 Club isn't just a tragic coincidence, but a ritualistic pattern, a cycle, a shadow that follows fame like a debt collector. This episode, guys, explores the myth, the math, and the psychology, the symbolism, and the cultural hunger that keeps the 27 Club alive. And somewhere in the middle of all that, we'll ask the question nobody wants to touch. Why does this pattern feel so real? Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in. I'm going to bring you the official story, okay? The official story is clean, clinical, and almost aggressively dismissive. A handful of famous musicians died at the age of 27. It's tragic. It's unfortunate. But is it just coincidence? That's the narrative. The names are familiar, guys. These are stars. Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse. 6 icons, 6 mentors, 6 flames that burned out at the same age. Statisticians insist there's no spike at 27. Mortality. Artists die at many ages. The sample size is too small. Humans are pattern-seeking creatures. The media amplifies the myth, and on paper, guys, they're right. But the official story has a problem. It doesn't explain why this myth refuses to die. It doesn't explain why the number 27 feels heavy. It doesn't explain why the deaths cluster. It doesn't explain why the circumstances echo each other. The official story is neat, guys, but the truth rarely is. Let's take a look at the cracks in the timeline, for instance. The first crack was the cluster. Between 1969 and 1971, these names fell. Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison. 4 legends, 4 deaths. All of them at 27 years old. All within a 2-year span. It's not coincidence, guys. It's a gravitational pull. The second crack, the circumstances, drowning, overdose, heart failure, alcohol poisoning, suicide, ambiguous autopsies, conflicting reports, and missing details. The third crack is the symbolism, okay? 27, when you think of the number 27, is loaded with meaning. 2 plus 7 equals 9, right? It's the number of completion. Saturn's return begins around 27 to 30. In numerology, 27 is tied to endings and transitions. In occult systems, 27 is a threshold number. In astrology, 27 degrees is the anaretic degree, or a point of crisis. The fourth crack, guys, is the industry. Every one of these artists was exhausted, overworked, emotionally isolated, surrounded by enablers, pushed to perform, pushed to produce, and pushed to be superhuman. The fifth crack, guys, the myth grows faster than the truth. People don't cling to coincidence at the end of the day. They cling to explanations that make pain feel meaningful. And the 27 Club does exactly that. Let's dig into the theory itself. The conspiracy theory branches into multiple directions, but they all share one root. Artists just don't die at 27. They are taken, whether it be by something, someone, or some system. Let's look at the branches. 1, the industry sacrifice theory. So, a hidden cabal sacrifices artists at their peak to preserve their legacy, maximize posthumous profit, maintain cultural control, and feed an occult ritual. The second theory is the Saturn return theory. Astrologically, 27 to 30 is a period of upheaval and reckoning. Some believe sensitive, creative souls are more vulnerable. Okay? 3, the numerology theory. 27 is a completion number. Some believe artists who burn too bright reach their soul limit, quote unquote, at this age. The next theory is the fame pressure theory. The simplest conspiracy. Fame is a machine that devours people. And 27 is the age where the pressure just becomes unbearable. The fifth theory is the collective projection theory. The idea that we, the audience, create the myth And the myth becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The next, sixth, is the curse theory. Some believe the 27 Club is a curse passed down through the industry, or a shadowed lineage. 7, you have the pattern recognition theory. Humans see patterns everywhere, guys, especially in tragedy. The conspiracy is the pattern itself. So now that we dove into the theory itself, or multiple versions of what it could be, let's look at the evidence, okay? Whether it be real or imagined. Okay? This is where the conspiracy gets its fuel. Because the evidence is a mix of facts, misinterpretations, symbolism, trauma, coincidence, and cultural storytelling. One, the statistical evidence. Artists are more likely to die young due to addiction, mental health struggles, lack of support, touring exhaustion, industry pressure. But 27, guys, is not a statistical spike. 2, the symbolic evidence. The deaths feel connected, okay? Brian Jones in a pool, Hendrix choking, Joplin alone in a hotel, Morrison in a bathtub, Cobain with a shotgun, Winehouse relapsing. The imagery is haunting, guys, but the parallels are even more eerie. 3, the industry evidence. Contracts, managers, tour schedules, isolation, exploitation, ignored warning signs. Guys, the industry didn't kill them, but it sure as hell didn't protect them either. 4th is the occult evidence. Fans point to album art, lyrics, numbers, symbols, final interviews, final performances. Most of this is just projection, guys, but some of it is unsettling. 5th is the psychological evidence. Artists who rise fast often lose grounding, they lose privacy, they lose identity, and they lose support systems. 27 becomes a breaking point. 6 is the cultural evidence. The 27 Club is a myth we keep feeding. And myths, guys, they have power. Couple points I want to go back. Even if they didn't pass away at 27, there's certain artists that you can go back in time and actually agree with some of this evidence. And one I really agreed with was the on-cult evidence, okay? When you point to album art, lyrics, numbers, symbols, final interviews, final performances, whatever final it may be, was final TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is, okay? I will state this. When Chester Bennington passed away, if you would go back and take a moment to think and listen to his lyrics of his songs before he passed away, if you go back and listen to his lyrics, you can actually hear someone pleading for help. But I bet no one ever listened to his songs that way and were like, oh my God, somebody needs to do something. But between that, album covers, us as fans, yes, we project things upon what we are seeing, but some of it, guys, I will agree with this. It is unsettling. If you go back and look, you'd probably find keys and clues that you were like, oh, wow, that does make sense. I definitely would encourage people that for artists that they did love that are passed away, go back and re-listen to the music. Like even for our people who loved Juice WRLD when he was around, really listen to his music before he passed. It's a plea for help. Granted, you probably wouldn't get it from the album covers or something like that, but some things, like even just in the lyrics, guys, words are powerful. You need to be able to find the clues, and that is huge. So I definitely agree with that part of the evidence that this theory has. But now we'll transition and look at the human psychology behind it, okay? So why does the 27 Club conspiracy feel so real? Because, guys, it gives shape to chaos. It makes tragedy feel intentional because it turns grief into a narrative, and because it lets us pretend there's a reason brilliant people die young, because it lets us avoid the harder truth. Guys, and this is so key. We build artists up so high that the fall just becomes inevitable. The conspiracy isn't about numbers, guys. It's about guilt, our guilt, the industry's guilt, the culture's guilt. The 27 Club is a mirror, guys, and we don't like what we see. And that's okay, because, guys, zoom out with me. The 27 Club, it isn't just a list of names. Cultural phenomenon. A myth that reveals how we treat artists. It shows how we glamorize suffering, how we romanticize tragedy, how we consume pain as entertainment, and how we turn real people just into symbols, how we turn symbols into myths, and how we turn myths into conspiracies. It also reveals something deeper. We expect artists to save us, even if it ends up destroying themselves. And when they die, we build a story big enough to hold the grief. 27 Club, guys, is that story. And what I said was exactly the truth. Whether you guys probably admit it or not, these artists that passed away, you've romanticized because either you've related with their messages in the lyrics and it somehow made you feel better, but the fact of the matter is at the end of the day, that person was not okay. And that's okay, but at the same point, we shouldn't be taking someone's hardships for granted. You guys want the truth? The 27 Club isn't a curse. It's a contract. Not written, not signed, not sealed in some smoky back room with candles and blood. No, it's a contract written within applause, signed in ticket stubs, notarized in the way we cheer louder when the pain leaks through the music. We don't want our artists healthy. We want them haunted. We want them broken enough to write the songs that save us. We want them fragile enough to feel everything that we can't. We want them brilliant enough to burn themselves alive for our catharsis. And then, guys, then we pretend to be shocked when the fire consumes them, okay? 27 isn't a curse. It's the moment the bill becomes due. Because you can only outrun the machine for so long. You can only outrun your demons for so long. You can only outrun the expectations of millions for so long. And when the music stops, when the lights go out, when that hotel room door closes, when your entourage leaves, when the phone stops ringing, when the world stops screaming your name, you're left with the one thing fame can't protect you from: yourself. It isn't a ritual, it's a reckoning. Okay? And the conspiracy isn't that they died. The conspiracy is we keep pretending we didn't help. Let's look at the counter theory, okay? The grounded explanation is simple, guys. Artists die young because fame is destructive. Addiction is deadly. Mental health support, I'm going to be honest, is lacking. The industry prioritizes profit over people. Touring is brutal. Pressure is relentless. 27 is not a magical number, guys. It's just the age where the cracks become too deep to. The counter theory says there is no curse. There is no ritual. There's only pain. And pain doesn't need a conspiracy to kill. Let's take a moment to reflect on what this says about us, okay? So what does the 27 Club reveal about us? It reveals that we're scared of losing the people who make the world bearable, that we're terrified of brilliance burning out, that we're desperate for meaning in tragedy, that we're complicit in pressure that destroys the very thing we love in our artists, that we romanticize suffering because it makes art feel more authentic. That at the end of the day, guys, we don't know how to love artists without consuming. The 27 Club isn't about death. It's about the cost of being seen and the cost of watching. And that is very true. It's something that I feel as a society in general, we just take for granted and don't even realize that we do it at the end of the day. We make this one person's lyrics and their song, we make it touch us and feel us in a way that is just making our lives feel bearable. But are we actually taking a moment and having an outrospective moment and being like, is this person okay? No, we don't do that because we're worried about ourselves. And that's not okay at the end of the day. All right. Before we close out this ritual, guys, I'm going to bring a couple things to your attention. One is our backstage pass. If you want to go deeper than what you hear on this main feed, if you want to go through the creative process, you want to hear my unfiltered thoughts, and you want to have full live link videos that you can go through and backtrack and watch on a consistent basis. If you want merchandise that is completely amazing and unforgiven, you want specific promo codes to get deals that are way better than just buying it outright, I encourage you to go down that rabbit hole, okay? The stuff that doesn't make the final cut, go grab your backstage pass, okay? This is the point where I give a lot to you guys. Full-length video episodes, members-only codes, live links, exclusive interviews. I go extremely in-depth, okay? So, without further ado, please go out and check that backstage pass. www.amypresessions.com is where you'll find that. Everything helps support and keeps the fire alive within this show. Okay? Second thing I want you to do, if this episode hit you, if it made you think, if it made you uncomfortable, in the right ways, should I say, please share it. Post it. Tag the show. Tag a friend who loves music, who loves conspiracy theories, or just needs something smarter in their feed while they doom scroll at 3 a.m. Your shares, guys, help this community grow. They show how the algorithm needs to wake up, and they show how this rebellion spreads. So, if you felt something tonight, pass it along. You've been listening to Amypre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. The journey doesn't stop here. Keep exploring, guys. Keep creating, and keep the fire alive. Until next time, stay loud, stay bold, and never fade into the noise. This was Amypre Sessions.